गर जुनून हो सर पे तेरे और अंतर में हो विश्वास, फिर ठोकर और ठुकराने का होगा कहां तुम्हें एहसास। मकसद में सच्चाई है तो सीना ठोक के यही कहो, मकसद में सच्चाई है तो सीना ठोक के यही कहो। झुकना होगा दुनिया तुमको, विश्वास पे अपने खड़े रहो, अड़े रहो, अड़े रहो, अड़े रहो। दुनिया बदली है जिसने भी पहले उसको इनकार मिला, दुनिया बदली है जिसने भी पहले उसको इनकार मिला। अपमानों का हार मिला और तानों का उपहार मिला। हर श्वास में अब विश्वास भरो और लहरों के विपरीत बहो। हाथों में विजय मशाल लिए विश्वास पे अपने खड़े रहो, विश्वास पे अपने खड़े रहो, अड़े रहो, अड़े रहो, अड़े रहो। अपने सपने तुम स्वयं चुनो और बुन लो विश्वास की डोरी से। अपने सपने तुम स्वयं चुनो और बुन लो विश्वास की डोरी से। तुम विजय गर्जना के नायक, तुमको क्या करना लोरी से। तुम स्वयं सिद्ध इस जीवन के, उन्मुक्त गगन में उड़े चलो। आरंभ आज से नवयुग का, विश्वास पे अपने खड़े रहो, विश्वास पे अपने खड़े रहो, अड़े रहो, अड़े रहो, अड़े रहो।
Are we ready to start? Yeah! All right, perfect. So my name is Dr. Harshil Parekh. I've been part of this organization since its inception. And my mom told me not to read off the paper, so like a good son, I'm listening to what she says. It's been 10 years. This is our 10th annual Gala. Everyone excited? It feels like yesterday when we started this dream journey together, and many of you have been with us since its inception. So thank you for living our dream with us. Did we like the band that was playing? I got my appetizer earlier, and I was just sitting in the corner, and I was just listening to them. They were amazing. That was amazing, guys. So, do you know that all players of the band are differently able? It's pretty incredible. These differently able performers, let's give them a huge round of applause, because that was kind of neat. So, every year we have a journey of these amazingly differently able performers again, among us. Sorry. The idea is to make a difference, and we are doing it together. Is Freya from Boston and B all the way up from London. Can we give them a round of applause? I'm getting a little old, so I need some help.
Hello everyone! I'm asking you to come inside, but a few years ago, together we have celebrated and witnessed the incredible talent of the visually impaired, autistic speakers and role models, Down syndrome entrepreneurs, cerebral palsy role models, special amputees. We have learned together about dementia and dyspraxia, schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. And today we're here to be inspired by individuals living with Parkinson's and OCD. I will hand over to Biju.
Hi everybody, thank you so much for being here. Can I just say, this is my first time being here at the event and I am just outstandingly blown away by the most amazingly dressed individuals sitting right here in front of me. What a beautiful array of colours I can see. Right guys, look, I've come here from London. It's my first time at the event, but I've always been supporting the event from far away. I've been so touched by the various programs under this umbrella, and we are here to support everybody that are part of this beautiful community. So let me give you some information. So we're here to support graduation, education of differently abled individuals, help to promote and support their talent, support service project jobs, special needs camps, connect special needs employers with employees, and many, many more. But do you know what I really want all of you to do? I want you to see on your table those amazing brochures that Flora has produced. Please have a look at them. Look at all the amazing information that you can find and see that has been provided in there. And let us know how you feel about it. I'm going to pass this back to Harshil. Dr. Harshil.
Of our milestone 10th, double-digit 10th year. Because we're going to have a lot of fun today. Let's invite our youth advocates, Sanjana and Samyukta Iyer, for traditional prayers showcasing the beauty of Indian traditional dance. And yes, don't forget those raffles outside.
both of you can have it here. They're not just dancers. You know why they are here? Because our theme tonight is Parkinson's. And these girls, these are school girls, they have done a charity dance show to raise money for Parkinson's. And that is why they are here. Everybody associated with this program, all the performers that we have, are either differently able or are raising the funds for differently able. They are very much into the cause, and I'm very proud when I see like schoolgirls doing this. I'm like, you know what? This is where we look at our future, and this is our future. Proud of you guys. Thank you so much. Alright, I don't want to steal the thunder from my MC tonight. So let's take a picture and see.
There you go.
Alright, photo.
Another round of applause, everyone. That was incredible. Alright, Saloni Srinivasan on stage. Dr. Srinivasan has served as the chair of Women's Affairs for API QLI for many years, conducts free public health educational programs in Nassau County on numerous health issues, including an annual mental health symposium and an annual breast cancer awareness seminar, and is the president-elect of Rotary Club of North Shore. Give her a huge round of applause, everyone.
Thank you, Harshil, for that kind introduction. Good evening, everyone. And I must say that I want to congratulate Flora, Dr. Harshil and Paresh on this double-digit anniversary. Can we have a round of applause, please? Amazing milestone. Thank you for all that you're doing for the community at large, Flora. So, I'm going to introduce to you the first speaker of the evening. And he's an author who is living with Parkinson's. You saw the two young ladies who danced just now, and they've all been doing fundraisers just for Parkinson's. And as a matter of fact, on TV, you might have seen Michael J. Fox, who I think has put Parkinson's on the map. A lot of people did not know about it till he talked about it and made it public information, and for people who could find out about it and read all about it and get the help that they needed. Mr. Garner was a high-powered corporate attorney and a motivational success speaker until something happened to change his life forever. And he took us, or he's going to take us on a journey through his life and Parkinson's and how it has affected him. This is a part of his life that John deals with, not only on a daily basis, but hour by hour. Gone is the elite attorney, the star status that he enjoyed, and that led to luxurious travel, 5-star hotels, sports and concert venues. Gone is the life of the very popular college professor, all stolen by the ravages of Parkinson's. Today, I'm happy to tell you that he is a proud writer of a published book, Decide Success. Like the subtitle of his book says, you ain't dead yet. Let's live it up to these amazingly, differently abled individuals inspiring us every part of every day. Please join me in welcoming Mr. John Bowman.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me to come here and speak. 25 years I've had Parkinson's. That should be inspiration enough. I'm going to leave now. Just kidding. You know, it's interesting when I think of differently abled. I've said that, I've used that phrase before I learned it from you guys. Differently abled is interesting because just like, I'll give you an example, Tiger Woods was thought of as the first African-American Thai golfer, professional golfer. But when we get to the point where he just is a professional golfer, you know we've gotten into the norm. And differently able is a wonderful expression, but wouldn't it be nice if we were just able individuals? Differently able, but able individuals. I just made that up, I just thought that would be kind of fun. My sense of humor is a little bit dry. But one of the things that, if you've ever seen the movie Overboard with Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell, there's a point where she falls off a boat and she gets amnesia and she thinks that she's poor, but she's really very rich. And she gets her memory back and she gets up on the boat and she says to Roddy McDowall. Roddy McDowall is a famous actor. He was a butler, and why he took this role as a butler made sense to me at that point because she asked him how bad was I, and he said, Madam or Arthur, I've dropped my golden earrings somewhere between 24th and 25th Street. Go find them. And she was so ashamed of herself that she said, what am I going to do? And he said, Madam, this is the key line. We all were born with blinders on. You've had yours removed for a short period of time. What you do with that information is entirely up to you. What I'm going to do is try to take the blinders off. Take the blinders off of what it's like to have Parkinson's and maybe learn a few things that I would not have learned otherwise. In other words, make a positive aspect of having Parkinson's. Find the positives. What is it? Finding out. I went into a doctor's office, my hand was shaking, and I went to see a doctor, and the neurologist came out, and the receptionist had left for the day. And she shook my hand and said, you have Parkinson's disease. 4 words that upset my life. I said, that can't be. I demand a confirmatory test. She said, you have all the classic symptoms. Your eyes don't blink, your face is a mask, your hand tremors, your arm doesn't swing when you walk, which is interesting, most people don't know that. And my handwriting is illegible. Now I'm an attorney, so my handwriting is, of course, it's illegible. That was a joke. Gotta lighten up here. I said, no disrespect to the disease of Parkinson's. As these wonderful women put on this nice dance. There's no disrespect to that I do to include humor in what I'm trying to say, because humor is therapeutic as well as anything else. But so I said to her, I want a confirmatory test. She said, you'll have to take the drug called carbidopa levodopa. I'm going to go home with some information to the day and see if it works. It worked. I said, is there another confirmatory test that's better? She said, that's an autopsy. I didn't go for the autopsy. Okay. Finding out. So I went home, told my family, and we took it from there. What is it? I call it accelerated aging. Because even though I'm 64, I feel like I'm 84. I have the same, I live in an independent living facility in Williamsburg, Virginia, with mostly 80-year-olds. And I tell you, I crack them up. It's fun. But the things that they complain about are the same things that I complain about. Walking, from the moment I wake up, I have to inch I feel like an alien's taken over my body. I have to inch the covers off of me, slowly, one at a time, and then I have to get up. I have to use a bar to lift up, and I lift up, and I sit there for a while to stretch out, and I can go, and I can eventually go to the restroom and get dressed and start my day and that sort of thing. But it affects walking, talking. I call it hypervigilance. I have to constantly keep in mind where I am. If I go into a corner, I might get stuck. My body frees up. If I go into a closet, my body is freezing up. The worst part of Parkinson's is when eventually you get to the later stages, and you just have swallowing difficulty. I should get a doctorate in Parkinson's. I've gotten so much information. I've gone to over 100 conferences. Been to Malaysia, been to Paris, been to Hong Kong, been to all over the United States and Canada. I was a little bit more animated then because I had 15 years instead of 25 years. But I still think it's good. Stress is my biggest difficulty. And good choice becoming a speaker. It stresses you in the morning category. But what can be done? I call them stages. First stage of Parkinson's is, well, first of all, let me ask you a question. I think Parkinson's is a very popular disease. How many of you know someone that has Parkinson's? It's a very popular disease. Whenever I go up to someone and they find out what I do, they say, oh, I know this person, my uncle had Parkinson's. And it's a very popular disease, which is a shame. It's unfortunate that it is, because we've got to find a cure, like Michael J. Fox was talking about. Stages, the honeymoon stage, called the honeymoon stage because it's when the medicine works. First 7 years, they've got it down to a number of years. The first 7 years, it works and you can do the normal things. I continued to practice law, which I love to do. Went to Cornell Law School and I loved being a lawyer. I got to be a college professor, which was awesome. I wrote my book, which is right over there. My brother Ted lives in Huntington, so he's filming it and carrying my book. Wrote a book, which was a labor of love. It takes the first 2.5 years. Has anybody here written a book before? Raise your hand if you've written a book. First 2.5 years, you think you're done with the book. You got all the content. Then you got to do the graphics and everything else. There's another 2.5 years before it gets published. So it's an interesting aspect of it. But it was something new. Something I would not have done had I not gotten Parkinson's. So the 10,000 people that have benefited from my book, I feel good about. Stages, honeymoon stage, then the action stage. I met my wife after I'd had Parkinson's for 10 years, and she put me on a vegetarian diet, and we exercised every day doing Bikram hot yoga or boxing. Boxing has been found to be a great way to deal with Parkinson's. And then the advancing stage, and in the advanced stage, I'm more in the advanced stage than ever before. What I say to my people with Parkinson's is, you are not Parkinson's. You are not Parkinson's. You have Parkinson's. Parkinson's does not have you. If you met one person with Parkinson's, you've met one, because we're all different. But in fact, I did a talk for some women in southern Indiana, and the first woman, I asked her, tell me about yourself. She said, well, I've had Parkinson's for 12 years, and went on to tell me her symptoms. Second one, I said, tell me about yourself. She talked about the 8 years she's had Parkinson's and what she's done about it. And I went to the third one, she said, I've had Parkinson's. I said, hold it, time out, stop. You're not Parkinson's. Tell me about you. And the first woman said, well, I grow prize-winning roses for the state fair. And her face lit up, and it was really awesome transformation. The second woman said, well, I build buildings, and there's a building in Indiana Skyline, Indianapolis Skyline, that I did. And her face lit up, and it was like the clouds parted and the sun shone through, because they had seen a different perspective on them not being Parkinson's, but Parkinson's being just a part of them. Who's a caregiver here? Raise your hand if you're a caregiver. Come on, caregivers, raise your hand. All right. If the person that you care for is here, I want the person that you care for to look at you right now and say thank you for being my caregiver. Because it's a thankless job, and my brother, I'll say it to you, thank you for being my caregiver. The thing about caregivers is care. C-A-R-E, care. You have to have courage, attitude, resilience, and enthusiasm. Those are the key things. Let me tell you a story. And no animal was hurt in this story. So, my wife called me at 3 o'clock on a Thursday afternoon and said, "There's a mouse in the house, come home now." So I dutifully drove home, and I went to the first hardware store, and I got a sticky trap. I went home and said, where's the mouse? She said, it was right over there. I said, "Put down a sticky trap." Nothing happened the whole night. The mouse didn't come out. Went to bed, the mouse didn't come out. Got up from work, the mouse didn't come out. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, she calls me and says, "It's caught in the trap and it's making noise, come home now." So I came home, and I was wearing a suit, and I took the trap, and I was going to throw it out. She said, "You can't just throw it out, you have to do something." Now, I've never had any lessons in law school and mouse euthanasia, but it was an interesting concept for me. So I went to the side of the house, and I was on the corner, and I tapped the mouse with a shovel. Like I said, no mouse was hurt in this. Tapped it with a shovel, and the breeze was making the fur move, so I thought it was still alive. I looked across. You know how you know when someone's looking at you? I looked across behind me, and there was an old woman on a bench, a Cajun woman on a porch swing, and she was swinging back and forth, and she was forming some words. And I looked at her, and she looked at me, and she said, "It ain't dead yet, it ain't gonna die." And that's where I got the subtitle of my book, "You Ain't Dead Yet," because you ain't dead yet. And everyone that's differently able, you ain't dead yet. You can still do something that people value and that works good for you. Balance is a big issue. I have fallen so many times I can't count them. I once fell on the floor, face down, and I couldn't get up. And I finally used all my energy possible to flip over. I was there for an hour, 3 hours, 5 hours, 9 hours, 12 hours, 15 hours, 17 hours, 20 hours, 24 hours, 22, 21 hours, 21 hours before they found me. Got pneumonia, I couldn't walk. I had to learn how to walk again. It took me 3 weeks to learn how to walk. These are the things that happen with Parkinson's. It's almost a life-threatening issue. So you have to have someone around you at all times. That's why I live in independent living now. Because I have a beeper that if I get caught in a bad situation, I can push the beeper and get me. Sounds pretty rough, huh? I'm going for time to turn this page. Then, next thing you knew, 6 months later, I was wanting to take a bath. It's a simple thing. Everyone likes to take a bath once in a while. Got in the bathtub and I couldn't get out. And I got the water out, and I was lying there in the bathtub. I could not get out. And when I finally got to rescue, they said, "What time do you think it is?" I said, "I went in the bathtub at 9, it's 11:30. They said, "It's 6:30 at night." I was in this bathtub for 9 hours. That's pretty harrowing. I want to call it, you heard me call it accelerated living, accelerated aging. I want to call this next part accelerated life. Live in the present, one day, every victory counts. Every victory counts is someone that gave me that. When I get into a car and I can put my seatbelt on, I raise my arms and say victory. Everything that I do, when I get up in the morning, I get out of bed, it's a victory. When I get dressed, it's a victory. When I get one foot in, it's a victory. When I can talk to you people, it's a victory. When I can take a 9-hour flight here from Williamsburg to see you guys, it's a victory. My brother takes me into this place, it's a victory. I go on and on as to what victories are. There's a balance. Besides balance being the other version of the word balance. Besides the balance being you have to stay balanced so you don't fall. There's balance when it comes to your life. You have to keep living your life, whatever you're differently able to keep living your life. Because, and you might even accelerate it. I went to see the Stones in Vienna, Austria. I went to see the Bruce Springsteen in Rome. I traveled the world and went to the Derby. And the life balance, it's becoming more and more stressful for me to do stuff. This is probably my last speaking engagement. It's probably my last one because it takes too much out of me to travel around. But I can live with the memories, and I can live with the things I do at this independent living place because I have a lot of fun there. For those that are differently abled, my 10-year through 20-year was when I said I was a vegetarian and I was doing Bikram hot yoga, 90-minute hot yoga, stuff like that. That stabilized my Parkinson's, and I didn't get any worse because of nutrition and exercise. So take that into consideration if you want to. If you're still young, not 64 like me, but if you're still young and you have something that's adversity, that you get up and do those things. Lift up that page. Okay. Give a hand to my brother. I said humor is something that's important. There's a guy named Jim Valvano that recently died. He's an ESPY award winner. He was a college coach, and he says, if you think, laugh, and cry, whether tears of joy or tears of laughter, tears of joy or tears of sadness, you've had a heck of a day. You do that every day for a week, you've had a heck of a week. For a month, you've had a heck of a month. Muhammad Ali, I got to meet Muhammad Ali, and I got to meet his daughter. And Muhammad Ali, what he says is, he was bent over, worse than I've ever seen anyone bent over in the middle of the room. These kids came in the room, and he rose up like he was the old Muhammad Ali, and he rose up and he did a magic trick for them. And then when they left, he went right back down into a crouch. That's how impressive that man is. I was so I would have never met Muhammad Ali if I didn't get Parkinson's. That's important to me. There's a guy by the name of Leo Biscaya, and he says, don't underestimate the power of a touch, a kind word, an honest compliment, or the smallest act of caring, either of which have the power to turn a life around. Be that touch, be that word, be that compliment, be that act of caring. Turn a life around. I'll give you another perspective. When I get into a plane and I can't get out of my seat, and the person next to me and someone in the aisle helps me up, guess what? I've given them a gift. Think about this. It's a little bit strange, but I've given them a gift. They got to help someone out. And how often do we get to help someone out and show how kind we are? Think about that. I've given them a gift. I'm not afraid, I'm not ashamed of asking for help because it's not my fault that I have Parkinson's. It's not my fault. It's not your fault you're differently abled. So take the help from anyone that gives it and offers it. See, I get. And then now I'm spending time in this assisted living place. And I'm determined to be the last best friend of many of these people. Last best friend. Think about that. You people who are in hospice or caregivers, you're the last best friend of these people. Positive attitude. Positive attitude. It's critical. My brother and I lived in Hicksville and then Huntington. In Hicksville, they had a fort out of some extra fencing. And there was only good for one person, so I went in there, or two people. I went in in there with my best friend. And my brother was left on the outside. So dutifully and rightfully, he hit me on the head with a rock. My mother came out and she was freaking out. There was blood everywhere. I went to the emergency room, got 6 stitches. He tells the story in 2, but it was 6. And I got home, and my brother went to bed. Then my older sister went to bed, and then then they brought out ice cream because they thought I might have a concussion. So I said, "This is the luckiest day of my life. I got hit in the head with a rock. Went to the emergency room, but it's the luckiest day of my life because of the ice cream and getting to stay lit up."
I was only 2 years old when I had him to have it around. I wasn't, just so you know.
So still make a difference, whatever way you can. And when you make a difference in other people's lives, you find a purpose for yourself. And that's the key of everything. I thought my purpose was to be an attorney. It wasn't. I thought my purpose was to be a college professor. It wasn't. I thought my purpose was to be an author. It wasn't. I thought my purpose was to be an inspirational speaker. It wasn't. My purpose is to help people feel better about themselves and be kind. That's all I got.
Mr. Bowman. So I'm going to ask a little bit of help from you. We need your help to announce our first raffle. I would like to call Miss Flora and Paresh Harshil to come up and help us out.
Alright guys, if you haven't purchased your raffle tickets, the time is now. And we're going to announce, we have very exciting prizes tonight. There is a designer bag that is worth almost more than $1,000, and it's donated by Dr. Bhavani. There is another gift basket that is almost worth $500 that is donated by Celestial Salon. There is another basket that is delivered, there is a perfume basket that is delivered by Perfume Center, Mr. Khanak and Mrs. Prabhagolia, and that is also worth $500+. So there are many other prizes. So if you haven't gotten your tickets yet, the time is now. Alright. I'm going to announce the first raffle. Where's the cage? They've been sponsoring a vodka for us, and of course the condition is we have to raffle it out, right? So we have a lovely basket with a Tito's vodka bottle inside from Tito's Vodka, and we are here to draw our first raffle. Yeah, no, it's the ball. And I'm going to invite some of the folks sitting here table by table. So one from each table to give away the raffle prizes, okay? So let me start with this table. Can I have Nitin Bhaiya? Nitin Bhaiya, please come. Nitin Bhaiya, you want to read this out for us? Okay, you want to read it? Okay.
John Bauman. 931-5850.
931 5850. Yes. Thank you, John. Oh my God, thank you. See you. Paresh Harshil, can you please join us?
Hey, you everyone, look here. One more, and one more. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
A little reminder, if you haven't bought your raffle tickets yet, please go and buy them now before we start giving things out. All right. So up next, I would like to invite a special guest who has a special speech. I would like to invite Mr. Eric Kumar for the next segment. He is a proud veteran of the U.S. Army, a community leader for over 15 leaders, CEO and founder of Commercial Capital Funding, with over 25 years of experience in SBA loans, commercial lending, business loan. Over the course of his career, he has funded over 10,000 small and medium-sized businesses nationwide. Please give a huge round of applause to Mr. Eric Kumar.
Good evening, everyone. Of course, Harshil is like a son to me and give my introduction, so I won't say much. But I really had an honor. First of all, I'm sitting with so many friends and close friends, families, and of course, Flora, Paresh and then of course, Harshil, we're a family. We go back at least 20 some years. And I was asked to introduce them. So of course, they don't need much introduction. We all know them. That's the reason why we're here. But it's still an honor for me to introduce them. Just like all of us, or most of us, they are migrated here from India. They moved here 25 years ago with a passion, with an American dream. But with that American dream, they had a dream of community service, which they, till this day, they're carrying it and they're going to go beyond that. 25 years plus of having a nice entrepreneurial career. Flora, of course, in the IT world. They raised a beautiful son, Harshil, who became a doctor. So Harshil, great job, brother. Great job, son. So it's really my honor. Community service is, as we all know, it's very difficult. It takes so much time out of you. I did it for a good 10, 15 years. Then a few years ago, stepped back, stayed on the back end, while Flora made the charge. I always called her a one-woman army. So, and of course, Paresh stayed behind the scene and had our back. So it's really my honor, and guys, please welcome our founder and host for this evening, Flora and Paresh Harshil.
So this happens every year. The moment I'm about to call Paresh and Flora Parekh, Paresh learns to disappear from the audience. So I don't know where he is, okay guys? So Harshil, can you join me up here and call Daddy if you can find him somewhere? There you go. Come on up. We lived a dream, like Eric just said, and Eric, thank you so much for that humble introduction. Okay. Every year, we do this a little bit different. Now, people who have been attending our gala for 10 years, tonight you will see a difference. Because it's our 10th gala, our own Navika Capital, which is the owner of this beautiful Hilton, they decided to put us in the ballroom instead of the Savoy room. So thank you, Navika. And this is a prestigious moment for us because we are with people who recognize the importance of community service. And everybody knows, I think everybody knows Navika, and there are a bunch of other sponsors out here as well. But the special mention to them because they recognize your special day and they make it extra special. And that's the beauty of living with legends who understand and respect community service. So we are truly grateful to you guys. This year, you'll see there's something different, right? Of course, we are in our 10th year here. We came to this country, believe it or not, 25 years ago. So this year also marks a silver jubilee in the United States, serving the community as well. When we came, thank you. When we came here, no family, nobody, And we found family in all of you. And then, when we had the special conditions, like you all know, I repeat it every year, I have a mom with borderline bipolar disorder, and which is what gave birth to Gift of Life USA. We wanted to truly give back to the community. So this is an organization that goes ahead and advocates mental health. Every year we have a different disorder, right? And this different disorder that we have every year, we want to advocate, but you saw the band that was played, they were all autistic and Down syndrome, okay? The girls that danced, they are raising money for Parkinson's. Our speaker is living with Parkinson's for 17 years. Our next speaker who you are going to hear is living with substance disorder. So these are the people who are living the conditions. They're not coming up here and just giving a speech. They are living through this. And that's what makes it important. But I also want to celebrate with you guys the 10 years of support that I have received. So tonight, we never do honorees or awardees or anything like that, you all know that. But tonight, we are going to recognize our people who have supported us for all 10 years. And there's this very special segment we have planned for them. And on your tables, you'll see some party favors. So you can already guess that after that, it's a huge party. So stay for the party, stay for the after party, because you're going to wear those party favors and we're going to dance all night through that. This year also, there are various communities that have come in together, right? The Indian American community, of course it's Easter weekend, so we have this. But in the room, we have our very special guests, and we have the district governor from the Lions Club. Can you please rise? And guys, I'm only 1 week into the Lions Club. Only 1 week and the district governor shows up at my event. Imagine the work that and that whole table is the Lions Club. So these guys are here to support us. The point I'm trying to make is I'm very fortunate, and if I take names, I'll be taking names throughout the night. Because every one of you understand that throughout the night, we are celebrating not only us, we are celebrating everybody, okay? And with that, I want to give the mic to my husband because people tell me that I never allow him to speak. He's shocked. But thank you guys. Thank you guys for celebrating my dream. I had a dream because you work and you want to know what you want to do when you retire. And this is where I want to retire. I want to retire serving the mentally challenged community. And that's what my dream goal is. And I found my dream, I found my future, I found my retirement plan. But most importantly, you're living my plan with me. So thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Let's enjoy the rest of the evening. We have very special performances and of course a party later on.
Invite Ms. Samyukta and Sanjana for their second dance of the evening.
I never got it, it's all
Parekh to invite our next speaker.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Gift of Life Gala. I was given to introduce speaker Nick Padlow. Nick Padlow is an Army veteran living with substance disorder. He is the CEO of Sophros Recovery, focused on helping individuals to recover from substance use disorders and co-occurring mental health illnesses. He is a small business leader, entrepreneur from Florida, and has served for 5 years in the United States Army. He attended Stanford University for Business School and later went on to become CEO of a 1,000 growth company. His move into substance abuse treatment is a result of his personal battle with depression, anxiety, and substance use disorder. After getting treatment himself, Nick defined his personal mission as helping others through similarly dark times. He believes that everyone can find their way back, regain their lives, and live a life free of suffering. Today, Nick is going to discuss major depressive disorders, generalized anxiety disorders, and tie his experiences with OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, and how these conditions are connected and frequently co-occur. Let's welcome our inspiring speaker, Nick Padlow.
So what if the goal is not accomplished when we get past the obstacle? What if the obstacle itself is the goal? And I heard that quote about 6 years ago, and I didn't believe it at all. I didn't believe that there was any way that the obstacles that I was facing would actually be the thing that would transform my life and make me into who I am today. And thankfully now, I'm able to see that much differently. My name is Nick Padlow, and thank you for having me come speak with you tonight. Also, thank you for supporting this organization. Thank you for the lives that you lead and the strength that you show. You know, when I thought about this quote for tonight, it brought me back to a time in my life when I was scared, when I felt hopeless. I felt like the obstacles in my life were too much for me to handle, and I wanted out. But I had it backwards. See, it wasn't the obstacles that were in the way of my life, it was the obstacles that were actively transforming the person that I was going to become and the way that I would view life later. You know, that's really what we're here to celebrate tonight. Not the absence of challenges, but the ability to rise up and make a difference in spite of it. We heard it from our first speaker, right? When he was trying to figure out what his life's mission was. And he said he thought it was this, and he thought it was this, and now he's still doing it today, even though it looks differently than what he thought it was going to look like. You know, some of the meetings that I go to, we always share our story in a certain format. It's what it was like, what happened, and what it's like now. And so I'll share a little bit of that about my life. So I grew up in Jacksonville, Florida, and I excelled in school, I excelled in sports. I didn't have a lot of obstacles, at least not ones that I knew about. I went up to West Point for my undergrad, and I happened to be at West Point on 9/11/2001. And that was when everything changed. I was no longer going to get this degree and then going to go somewhere and process security clearances in a room. I was going to war. And we did. So I spent 27 months between Afghanistan and Iraq during my time in the Army. You know, and I always like to say that that didn't affect me. I don't know anymore. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. But over the next 10 years, kind of after business school, and kind of this culmination of things that seemed to be going right, I started dealing with depression. And I didn't know what that looked like. I didn't know what that felt like. It felt frustrating. It felt like there were things I wanted to do, things I knew how to do, but I was somehow physically unable to do them. It looked like not being able to get out of bed, not being able to brush my teeth in the morning. Meanwhile, I'm running a company with 120 employees, trying to pretend like I've got everything together. And while I'm worried about the past and this depression and this inability to do things, I'm also dealing with anxiety. The what's going to happen next? Where am I going to go? How am I going to get these things done? Because I can't do it over here, now I'm worried about over here, and it's hit me from all sides. What do I do? And I just wanted to escape. I wanted to erase the pain, I wanted to get rid of this obstacle, and I wanted out. And so first I started to escape with substances. Alcohol and drugs are a great escape for about this long. Right? We use them because they work. Until they don't. And so now, as a lot of you probably know, you have this alcohol and these drugs, which then increase your depression and anxiety, which is the first reason why you turn to them in the first place, and now you've got worse depression, worse anxiety, and now you have a substance use disorder. So now you got 3 problems. Now I have 3 problems. And, it got to the point for me in 2018 when I was sitting in a hotel room in Dallas with a half-empty bottle of Maker's Mark and a 9mm trying to decide if that was going to be my last day. I made a different choice that day. I grabbed my phone and I Googled rehab. I figured, why not? I didn't know anything about it. I went to probably the first or second place that popped up on my Google search and happened to get lucky. Now that I'm in the industry, I wouldn't recommend anyone do that, get a recommendation. But that started a journey for me. It started a journey that went to rehab, and by the way, back to rehab later that year, so I didn't get it at first. But after the second time I picked up, I moved to Cambodia for 3 months and practiced mindfulness. I started to invest in myself. And now, it's not like I don't deal with these issues. These are chronic issues, right? In Alcoholics Anonymous, we always say, hi, I'm Nick, and I'm an alcoholic. Well, I haven't had a drink in a while, but I'm still an alcoholic. It's a chronic disease. If I were to go outside and pick up one now, I'd be in the same place I was at before. And so now I work on these things. Now I fight them. And I look back and I look at what my life is like today. Today I go to about 3 or 4 meetings a week. I work with my sponsor. I go to therapy. I talk to my spiritual coach. I do a lot of work on myself. And I really resented that for a long time. I resented the fact that I had to do the work when, in my mind, other people didn't. And now I look at it as a blessing. Like, I get to do the work. I invest so much in myself that I would never be this strong otherwise, even if I never had those issues to start with. And so I look at all the things in my life today. I have a business that allows me to help other people. And our first speaker mentioned it today. He talked about, being able to do service as, being able to give someone the opportunity to do service is a gift. And so I get that gift from other people now. I get the gift of being able to help people who are struggling with some of the same things that I struggle with. I have a wonderful fiance who's amazing. Wouldn't have met her otherwise either. And so I look at all these gifts in my life and I say, maybe I'm thankful for that obstacle. Because maybe I wouldn't be where I am today without it. In fact, I know I wouldn't be where I am today without it. And so, for you out there, kind of a few different categories. If you do have an obstacle in your life that you're facing today, right? Whether it looks like mine, whether it looks like something else, one of the things that I've learned that's been the most powerful for me is this concept of serenity. Right? Serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. You know, we say that a lot in my meetings too, but it's this understanding that even during a hard time, you know, we can do something about some of the stuff, and some of the stuff we can't, and we just gotta let it go. Second thing is to ask for help. You know, on that same theme that we've hit a couple times, I had someone say one time, you know, I hadn't reached out, I was kind of struggling, I didn't reach out, and he's like, why didn't you reach out to me? I said, I didn't want to bother you with it. And he's like, who are you to think you have the right to take away my chance to do service? And I was like, wow, okay. Because I kind of robbed him of that opportunity to make a difference in my life and to be able to be there for me, which is part of his work. And then for those of you who support, who take care of other people, thank you for what you do. For the caregivers that raised their hand earlier, thank you especially for what you do. If you are in that position and you are helping other people, my only caution is to make sure you're taking care of yourself as well. This can be hard work. Service can be hard work. And we have to invest in ourselves so that we stay in a position where we're strong enough to be able to deliver on that promise. That, for me, that means doing the work and getting therapy. I know for a while I just tried to stay sober and to stay healthy mentally by helping other people, which is great and helpful for me. Also, I have to do my own work. And so when we look around the room and we look at challenges faced, and we look at victories won, and the everyday little small things that make us what we are, you know, it's a reminder to us that it was never about avoiding these obstacles in our lives, but rather it was about living life to the fullest in spite of the obstacles that we may face. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm gonna have you, wait, I need your help. The raffle to announce. So can all the MCs as well as Mom?
Beautiful girls, come on.
I'm sorry, but we have a raffle going on here, and we would love it if we can get somebody to come up and get these raffles going. So not now, but I'm just saying that we have a raffle, guys, and we want to sell more of these tickets because there are some amazing prizes. Flora, please tell us more about this.
Yep. All right, get your raffles now. If you haven't gotten them, it's still time. And now it's time for this side of the tables. Can I invite my US daddy, my own Harshil uncle, to please come and draw? And yeah, come. It's my US daddy. Alright, and what we're raffling is a Trader Joe's gift basket donated to us by Trader Joe's. It's a huge basket. Alright, and let's see who's the lucky winner is. Oh, you're holding it the other way. Spin it again, okay? Spin, okay.
And the winner is 9315855.
That's mine.
Oh, yeah.
All right. We have a winner.
Ready? One more. Thank you.
Dominican Dance Group Incorporated, founded in August of 2008 in Santiago de los Caballeros. I hope I said that correctly. In Dominican Republic. The objective of this folklore group is that the youth not only learn and or improve their Spanish, but also learn about the Dominican culture through dance and music. They also learn about the national anthem, the flag, its independence, the traditional carnival with our typical musical instruments and costumes, and the significant historical individuals of our country. For more than 16 years, the dance group has had over 50 members of all ages and different ethnic backgrounds. And it strives to showcase its culture to diverse groups of people all over the United States and abroad. Please welcome the Dominican dance group, Group Folclorico Dominicano de Ramona Torres. Parekh and Mr. Paresh Harshil please join me? Ms. Flora Parekh, please join me. Ms. Flora Parekh, please join me.
This was especially for our program. So thank you, Romana. Thank you. That's lovely and that is one token of our appreciation.
I'm from the group.
Oh, I did again. Thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you everyone.
This beautiful basket is from JLC Gift and Fashion. Is Jamla here? She's here, but I don't. Oh, there she is. Come on up. This beautiful basket is made and donated by Jamla. Jamla, thank you so much. All right, let's draw. Come on, Romani.
Says Bhavani Srinivas.
No, it does not. Nice try, Bhavani.
931-5854.
This is the second basket. Jamla, come.
Everyone, look here. One more. Thank you.
Harika Sankalji, the chairman of Navika Capital in South. All right.
Nine 15807. Who is the lucky man?
Everyone, look here. Harshil, I can't see your face. Harshil. No, Harshil, right here. I got it. Here you go. One more. Thank you.
One of our grand prizes, a perfume gift basket. It's worth almost $500, and it's donated by one of the Navika members. So I want Harika Sankalji to pick that one as well. This is donated by Kanak and Prabha. Uncle, please.
9315798.
Tony. All right, come on up, Tony. Woo!
There's someone who always stands out with their exceptional, selfless devotion to the community. Our first recognition for tonight is a woman of dignity, a humanitarian and president and chief executive officer of Unique Comp Incorporated, UCI, none other than Kalpana Patel. From the very beginning, Kalpana's first priority has always been commitment to her clients and by strongly believing in achieving excellence through teamwork, which has now resulted in UCI's success. Kalpana attributes her success to her parents' upbringing, Bansi Shah, and her UCI team. UCI team, which is with her since day one, is really unique in her opinion, which has put UCI on runway to succeed. Kalpana Patel proudly supports various charities, including Gift of Life USA. Please join me in welcoming our Humanitarian of the Year, Kalpana Patel.
Harshil.
look at it. Now our partner and one of the philanthropists of the year is Mr. Sunil Jain. Mr. Sunil Jain, can you please join us as well? Come on out, Sunil Jain, walk by. I support him for over 10 years, I would say. Come on out. Come on, guys.
Everyone.
Naveen is also accepting from Mr. Kenneth Gala.
Yes, a very young doctor who's been with us since day one and pledged his services. Any guesses? Correct! Yes, none other than our Dr. Harshil Parekh.
Harshil's friends and supporters, please come up on the stage. Harshil's friends, come on up. Quickly.
So I love them all. Thank you so much, guys, for coming up and supporting us once again.
Diga.
You see the academic college proudly shaping the future of our upcoming generation is our next awardees. The Academic Excellence of Exeter University of Medical Aruba. Can we please invite Mr. Kaul Mehta to join us in giving us... Oh, he's not here? I'm so sorry. Alright, so, is there? Sorry.
Our next award is our Philanthropist for Excellence. Let's see who gets this one. Any guesses? That is our proud supporter from US Foundation. May I request Justin Patrick to accept the award?
Can I invite Mr. Reddy Kumar to please come up and accept the award for US Foundation?
Celebrate our team members who have been with us for the past 10 years. In no particular order, we would like to welcome our Pinnacle Award recipients, Mrs. Sashi Malik, Nidura Malik. Please can we have all the EC team here to join us for the pictures.
Is a very, very special award. And before that, we have a special performance coming up later this evening. And I'd like to have our two wonderful ladies, Priya and Bijal, announce the very special performance that is coming up for the evening.
The other performers to come on stage. We have a performance coming up by Serena Jin from Masala Bhangra. celebrating over 30 years in the fitness industry and 25 years in Masala Bhangra. A true pioneer, Jen has produced 15 fitness DVDs, launched an on-demand gym, continues to expand her reach through live classes and workshops, has graced 2.6 million Nestle Fitness cereal boxes, has been honored as one of Shape Up America's top 10 fitness instructors, and has led New York City's dance parade as Grand Marshal. Her impact has extended far beyond fitness. She has delivered inspiring TED Talks and has also hosted Discovery Fit TV for 5 seasons. Now, Jen is expanding her mission to the next generation by bringing cultural dance performances to public schools. She's received many recognitions and awards, including a proclamation by the New York City Mayor's Office of International Affairs. We are so excited to have her here tonight.
Is going to be a little bit extra. Tonight we're celebrating the life of a very special humanitarian who has taught us the way to live and give. Let me request Mrs. Sashi Malik to introduce our final award, please. Where are you? Oh, she's right here. Hello.
Thank you, Flora, and it's my privilege to introduce our Lifetime Achievement Award winner, the Mukan Mehta. Mukan Mehta is a member of the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and a member of New York, New Jersey, Connecticut law bars. And he has been a moot court judge at NYU School of Law more than 25 years. He is the past president and Indo-American Citizen Center of New York. He is the president of India Home, a director of Federation Indian American Senior Association of North America, FISANI, member of the donors of several organizations, and vice president of Rotary Club of North Shore, New York. He is the trustee of Vaishnu Temple of New York, past trustee of Gujarat Samaj of New York, a founder of member of Spiritual Development Center of New York, and an advisory board member of Brahman Society of New York, and truly deserves this Life Achievement Award. Let's give a standing ovation to Mukan Mehta and all the generous supporters of the
A Lifetime Achievement Award supporting more than 200 organizations and the recipient of 7 Life Achievement Awards. Mr. Mukan Mehta, selflessly supporting Gift of Life USA since inception. Mr. Mukan Mehta. Mrs. Padma Mehta, come on up. Community. Now, Mukunda, can you share a few words of how you do this with over 200 organizations, over years and decades of service? What's your inspiration, Mukunda?
Inspiration is all of you. Okay, let me first of all, I express my gratitude to Gift of Life USA and this founder and the promoters of this organization, Parekh family, and to the board of directors. Many kudos to this organization because each year it brings a subject which has something to do with humanity. It may be either the impairment mentally, physically or psychologically. But every year, very good program is brought by this particular group. If we are able to walk and talk and do our normal work, thank God that we got a good health, and health is wealth. But there are certain people who are born with some disability, or they will be all right, but in the course of their life, all of a sudden, something happens and the life takes a U-turn. But still, number of people have come up, like Christopher Reeves, Superman, and Dr. Bhavani mentioned Michael Fox, Back to the Future actor. Also, Steve Reeves, the blind man who received 25 Grammy Awards. Stephen Hawking, who is an ALS patient, but he became cosmologist and the author and the physicist, and who doesn't know Helen Keller. All these people had some deformities, but still they made it in their life. So I will urge that we cannot individually go to these people who are disadvantaged, but we can support the organization like this, and this organization can support them directly. So I really appeal everybody to have some support, contribution to some organization which fosters the people who, because of their perseverance, resilience, and determination, they come up in the life. Thank you so much.
Oh my God, I'm amazed with this choice of words. Can I get a recording of that speech, please? I might use some of them. Mukund bhai, thank you so much. Thank you. And दोस्तों, पिक्चर अभी बाकी है क्योंकि पार्टी तो अब शुरू होने वाली है. And we want to honor all our honorees with a very special group song. And it is put together none other by Jyoti Gupta and the JKG group. Jyoti Gupta and group, can you please hand in a join them in this amazing song which we want to dedicate to Mukund bhai and all the honorees tonight. I want all JKG group to come here and Justin, you say something. Hello everybody, what a beautiful evening today. The gift of life, and our song is very appropriate for this gift of life. And Jyoti picked this song and I was amazed how could she pick that song. The song says, Madhuban Khushbu Deta Hai. It's a garden of love with different fragrances, like all of us are different people. But we give to everybody ourself in a way appropriate. All of you are giving to everybody. And what he said, and I want to say something about you. The silence speaks more than loud words. This is well known. And somebody says, don't Google it. Arey Google ke bina aaj ki zindagi hai. We don't have a life without Google, so Google is very important. With that, I give you Jyoti ji, who is our lead singer tonight, of from this side of the table. Come on, Selena, come on. All right, Selena, draw one. All right, you want to announce the number? Okay. 9315779. Oh my God, come on now, Power. You're right, yes. The lights level is gray.
Once again, I am Howard from the Lake Grove Lions Club, and on behalf of the Lake Grove Lions Club, we'd also like to give a donation of $500 tonight.
Can I have all of the Lions Club members here in the picture, please? All of the Lions Club. Thank you, Lions. Thank you so much. Abhi hum loग get the basket donated by Shashi Malik. Shashi ji, please come on up. Shashi Malik, the last two raffle prizes are being get ready from Gala, Tamil. Please put your lights on. You see that girl? Can you see? Shano, can you get up the hands? Oh, he has it on. Come on. Wait. All right. House lights, please. Enter.
So we have the next winner, 9315831. The lucky winner. Anybody with the last four digit, 5831. This is a gift from Seva Center for Humanity. We have the ladies, they make with their love, they knit pattern scarves for cancer patients, but we also give it out to our veterans and everything. So this is from us with love.
If you really enjoyed their dancing, please give them a round of applause. Sanjana, they were incredible, and wanted to draw the last grand prize donated by Dr. Parani. The one, come on up. So explain what your gift is about.
This quality leather briefcase. It's designer one, and it's priced between $900 to $1,000.
Can I keep it?
Of course. Let's see who the lucky winner is tonight, right?
Okay, so the number is 9315849.
Who's there?
That's me.
Thank you. Congratulations, Nitin Bhaiya.
There you go. Everyone, one more.
Hi Liz, how are you? I knew you could do a little bit better than that. You've been sitting here patiently for so many hours, and I love the fact that you all have been listening to all of the speeches here tonight. I want to say that I heard your speech, and thank you for being so vulnerable to share your story in front of everybody. That was amazing, amazing, amazing. I really hope you all go up to him and tell him that was awesome. And thank you for another speech that was awesome here as well. Oh, I just gave you an award. Here we go. I would like you all to please rise up and join me right here. I cannot move until you are here. Mr. Sunil Hali, I see you. Sunil Ji, Sunil Hali, I see you. Please join me. I need everyone to come up and get up and please move. The biggest thing that I do is get everybody up and moving. You can put a shawl over your face. I see you, Bill. I see you loud and clear in the blue, with the blue glasses. So, Pooja, she just told me your name. So, come on, Pooja, let's go. The thing is, I can see this here. When I first started the Sala at a global level. Can I please get everybody for that? That's what I'm saying. JD did, by the way. JD. Okay, I also like to give did Pooja get up? Pooja did not get up. I have a very personal story as to even why I do what I do today, which I'll share with you later. Arms up in the air. Shoulders big up.
Down and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6.
Okay, now slow down, DJ.
Both hands, both hands. Both hands up, both hands up.
Let's count. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 and 11 and 12 and oh, by the way, give it up for Sound Terrific because they've been around for years. These two gentlemen have been around for please make sure you get up, give it up for them.
visit our center, come up to us and get our information. Most welcome to visit our meditation center in Flushing, Queens Flushing. And yeah, we're very happy to be part of this event. Thank you.
Marvelous work. Give the big round of applause. Certainly you have been taking the food. So I am so happy and blessed today how she has been navigating entire business of this service. I will be spread the message around the globe. Our organization is really more than 180 countries.